time to strap in and get ready.
The leaders in AFL SuperCoach are incoming, helping you win your leagues and climb up the rankings.
You're now listening to the Insight AFL Show with your hosts, Big Horse and Skitty.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Inside AFL Show. I'm your host, the horse, the SuperCoach horse. And with me tonight, a new addition into our SuperCoach team for 2025, Deadly. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. Good, mate. Bit of a late night start. Pretty keen for it. Yeah, just ready to rip and tear. Show off the team, show off the people that are going to win me 50K, and yeah, ready to get into it.
We're getting in and amongst it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to keep you waiting too long in this show. We're going to get stuck straight into it. But before we do, if you haven't yet, please hit like, subscribe, and put the bell on. We call that the triple banger because it allows us to get out to the community. It also allows you to know when we go live so you can listen to all the good shit that we've got on offer. And also, this year, we will have $25 leagues, $50 leagues, $100 leagues. And depending on interest, we might even nudge that up this year to $250 leagues. So if you want to express your interest or want us to hold a spot for you for when SuperCoach does open properly at the end of January, let us know and we'll hold a spot for you nice and early. Now, it'd be pretty poor of us if we went into the show and not mentioned our day one sponsors, the Standard Squeeze. They're all right, aren't they, Deadly?
Yeah, they do good things, have good products, and that promo code, as you can see on screen, IFS15, gets you 15% off your order. Very, very handy.
That's right. For anyone that's had the Standard Squeeze product, good quality type of stuff. I've purchased 3 or 4 of the 4-in-1s myself. Keep me cold stubbies in there during the day. Coffee's in there in the morning. It's got multi-use for everything you would want to do. But anyway, mate, the people here are listening to your team. Mind you, you did finish quite high last year. Inside the top 5K, is that right?
Yeah, around 5K,
Yep. So I see here, mate, your back 6, or we'll go through your back 8 straight away. Sinclair, Mills, Coleman, Travaglia, Allen, El Hawley, Reed, and Smith from Richmond. So for those of you that just heard me listening in on all good audio platforms, and for those of you watching on YouTube, you'll see the clear lack of primos here. Deadly, talk me through your thought process.
I really think there's a lot of value in defense this year. Like Mills, Coleman, all these boys, they have the potential to seriously become locks, and they can make you 200-300K straight away. So I really think I'm going value heavy in defense, and then you'll see a bit later on with my mids and forwards where I've used the rest of that money for.
Jack Sinclair, very interesting pick at D1. Mind you, St Kilda and Fremantle, is it, have the best draw, or we believe the best draw when we're talking buys for SuperCoach this year?
Yep. Sinclair's an absolute lock for me. Yeah, as you said, Saints have the best buys. They even have the best early season schedule. He has no round 0 games, so no early buy. He plays Richmond twice, and the first one being in round 3, so pretty early on. So he's an early captaincy option straight away. The DPP's handy, and with the way the Saints midfield structure is with McRae and the likes, I can't see him going back to that midfield role that he had last year that sort of stunted his points for a while. And very good chance he finishes D1 if he just stays at half back.
So do you think that's his role this year, half back alongside Wangan and Malera?
Yep. I think them two will be the 2 biggest ball users out of the St Kilda backline, and yeah, they dead set could have 35 touches each most games. It's the way Saints play.
Now, I see Callum Mills there at D2. He did have a very interrupted year last year with injury, came in late. And for those of you that have played footy before, not even just at the elite level, but at your grassroots level at your local club, it is hard to come in mid-year, 3/4 of the way through the year, and try and get on the same level as everyone else. So this is why we've got a discounted price for Callum Mills. At $350K, is he someone that you're looking to keep, Deadly, or is he someone that you're looking to use as a platform into a primo?
I mean, it all depends really how Sydney set up their structure. He's got one of the better scoring pedigrees, SuperCoach-wise, in the whole AFL. Like, he averaged 115 a couple years ago. So ridiculous stuff. If he can go somewhat even 100, he's probably worth the keep. But yeah, right now it all really just depends. But I think he can make 200k just pretty early on, as if he stays in that half back role.
Beautiful. Does it worry you with the Swans being one of the 4 teams having the round 3 bye?
Yes, sort of. But I've sort of tried to structure my team to not have too many of them. I've only got 2 or 3 max, maybe, and I should be able to cover it with top 18.
Beautiful. That's what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just the best players available. We're looking to structure our sides this year in order to ensure you've got 22, 23 on the park, including the flex position this year, which is quite new, and we will go through that again as we edge closer to the season. But to make sure that you can max out your points week in and week out without being hamstrung, so to speak. I like Kitty Coleman, mate. So in the grand final, what was it? Not last year, the year before when they played against Collingwood, he scored 140 SuperCoach points in that grand final. And then very early last year, did a knee and was ruled out for the year. At a heavily discounted price at less than 270k, was he one of your first picked?
Yeah, he was probably my first pick this year. I was really keen on him last year. I think I had him in before he got injured in round 0. But yeah, we saw what Dane Zorko did for Brisbane last year. That would have been Kitty Coleman
That's right.
if the ACL didn't go. So at 269k, it's just too hard to pass up. He should have at least close to a full preseason now, and he's coming back into probably the strongest side in the AFL, running off half back.
Yep, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we see rookies filling out the remainder of the defence. Travaglia, Bendigo Lad, Bo Allen, who West Coast were looking at pick 2. They traded back in the draft, got more draft picks, and still ended up with their man. So they'll be very happy with that. And by all reports, doing a really good job in the preseason there with the Eagles. El Hawley, the excitement machine out of Essendon. You will see him early. Smith and our boy, Zach Reid. Are you ready to get hurt again by Zach Reid?
I'm not ready to get hurt because I'm positive he'll be fine. Full preseason, hope he's absolutely killing it. I've heard.
Yep.
And my word, just stay healthy for like even 8 weeks, 8-9 weeks. Make a couple 100k. I can stepping stone you into a primo. Just I trust him enough.
It's hot.
That's hot. And you know
No
what?
question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Hurt again, because if you see what's happened with the Essendon Footy Club over the preseason and see that he's been training as the centre half back with the Essendon 1 side, you know that he's locked into that side when healthy. But also, he can use the ball quite well. For a big guy, exceptionally good by foot and has got a nice set of hands. So it is someone that you're going to want to keep an eye out in preseason if you don't trust it just yet. Deadly, would you like to scroll through to your mids, mate?
All right. Go down to the mids.
We like this. Bont, the best player in SuperCoach last year, alongside Tristan Xerri, or Cherry, however you say his surname. Brayshaw, Petraka, Will Day, really like that. Will Ashcroft, Peatling, Ed Allen from the Collingwood Footy Club, Josh Smiley, Sid Draper, Levi Ashcroft, and Leo Lombard. I feel like this midfield, apart from 2 or 3 players, is going to be very similar in everyone's team. Just quickly, Bont, was there a second thought given his high price, or was he just get him in?
Nope, no brainer. He's best player in the game. He captaincy option every week, no matter who he plays. His you're doing too much. You're outthinking the room if you don't go for him, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah. Andrew Brayshaw, mate. Interesting that you picked Brayshaw over the likes of Sarong and Young in the midfield. Tell me your thought process behind that.
Yeah, well, I'd be happy to have all 3 of them. But from what we've heard, coming out the Freo Footy Club, they've all been a little perked up. We see a man that we'll talk about a bit later on, I'm sure, Sean Darcy. He's lost 15 kegs. They've all been told to improve the fitness levels a bit, and fitness is Andy Brayshaw's best friend. And my God, he finished that season last year so red hot. I just can't see a world where he goes back out in the wing and stunts his points. He's absolutely flying at the minute in preseason, and I think he could even surpass Sarong this year.
Can I give you Fremantle's run before their bye?
Go ahead, tell me.
Swans at home, which will be tough. Then they've got Eagles, Dogs,
hot,
Tigers,
yep,
D's, Crows at home, Saints, Collingwood at home, Giants, Port Adelaide at home, Suns, Roos, Bombers at home, and Saints at home.
That's making me want more Freo players.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, dude.
For me, we'll put out an article on our Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't joined our Patreon yet, it is free to subscribe. Click the link below in the description. It'll take you right through there. But for me, they've got the best draw pre-bye, their round 13 bye, I think it is, where it's just them and St Kilda that have the bye.
Yeah.
I'm really excited by the thought of having not overload on Fremantle players and overload on St Kilda players, but these are the types of players that you're going to want to target in order to maximise your points for SuperCoach 2025.
Absolutely.
Christian Petracca, is it because of the rig that he's been flashing off in the news, mate?
Nah, I mean, well, that is one of the reasons, but
Yes.
he's another class. He's
He
not
is.
worth 556k. He's bond price in my eyes.
Mhm.
Yeah, Simon Goodwin's already come out and said he can't believe how well Track's come back from his injuries from last season. And yeah, that's probably a fair statement. It was a tough injury to come back from. But yeah, Christian Petracca, I would probably pick him if he was 630k and fully healthy. If he's fully healthy at 556, yes, please.
Yep. Will Day. There was it 12 rounds last year where he went at 100 or more?
11 in a row.
So he started the year late, came in, started quite slowly, got a couple of scores below 80, I believe, and then went 11 rounds plus 100 before he got hurt again, and his season was finished early. At sub 500k, is this one of our bargains for our midfield?
I think so, yeah. He could dead set be just set and forget in the midfield, and at 491k, I'm more than happy to have him. The reason he sort of, like, it was just an injury-filled season for him last year, the way he didn't really get going, but 1100s in a row, he made a lot of cash back then, and yeah, I reckon he can do something very similar this year.
For sure. Will Ashcroft there, 441k. Don't really think we need to talk about him too much. He's a no-brainer. We saw the way that he finished last year and getting the best on, the normie in the grand final. It's the things you love to see for all Brisbane Lions or old school Fitzroy Lions supporters. James Peatling at 352k.
Yep.
This has, for me, boom or bust written all over it. Boom, because we know what he's like when he plays in and under, pardon me, and gets that midfield role. But bust because the coach is Matthew Nix, and there's a bloke called Matthew Crouch on that side.
I've got some seriously good stats here for James Peatling. I priced at a 65 average is ridiculous for what he did last year, and he's only priced at that because he wore the vest 7 times last year when he was at GWS, and it won't happen at Adelaide. He won't wear the vest, surely. And when he had in games where he had 50% or more in CBAs, he averaged 98. And also, if you think back to when Stephen Cornelio went down for GWS and he got his mid-minutes, when he wasn't splitting them with Finn Callaghan, and Finn Callaghan was sort of staying out in his wing, he was one of the best players in the park. And in 7 full games without Cogs, he averaged 105 SuperCoach points. At 352k, I'm happy to take the punt. I think he's incredible. He's got an incredible kick. He knows how to use the ball well, and he's just an absolute bull. He's going to be really good for Adelaide, I reckon.
For sure. There's some noise coming out of Collingwood, mate. Ed Allen in the preseason being one of their better performed players alongside a man called Reef McInnes. I think there's a very real possibility that Ed plays right from the start.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really shock me that he's one of the best players. He really impressed me when he played those couple of games towards the back end of last year. And with Tom Mitchell being injured, he's training in the spot of Tom Mitchell. And at 194k, he dead set could start right from the jump and make coins straight away. He's got good SuperCoach scoring potential. He knows how to use the ball well, kicks it well. Yeah, solid player.
Yep. Josh Smiley, Sid Draper, Levi Ashcroft, and Leo Lombard round out your rookies through your midfield. I'm not going to get you to touch too much on that, Deadly, because we are going to do a rookies episode for the ladies and gentlemen at home, so we can let everyone know who we think are the best rookies to target this year in SuperCoach at a later date. Mate, Your rucks. I'm interested to see. You've gone, for those of you that were part of the Insight Fantasy Sports Network last year, we called him the X Spectrum until he learned how to tap it to his teammates.
Yeah.
And then he was Superman, wasn't he? Tristan Cherry, the number one player in SuperCoach, 645K. He finished last year. Didn't he finish plus 700K? So he's been bought back a little bit.
He finished last year, what was it? It was 143 round average for the last 3 games of the year, and
That's
like
right.
135 5-round average. Some ridiculous. And yeah, I'm actually grateful that he's been brought back to 645 because I reckon I'd go close to getting him at 700 if he can put up them sort of numbers. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was unreal, wasn't he? You just said that he blitzed it at the back end of last year. And for those of you that said that he finished last year at 730K, there you go. So there's a reason why he was the number one player in SuperCoach. Those that said he had a soft draw late, you can only play against the teams that you're up against. So he's priced at roughly 85K less than what he finished last year. He's someone that you're definitely going to want to target early. Matt Flynn at Ruck 2 is interesting. Tell me more.
I'm not sure on it, to be honest. Like he's there for now. This could all get tinkered and whatnot. But at 261K, if he can be the starting ruck, I can't really pass up on it because he can, even just any sort of starting ruck, it doesn't matter how good you are, you can make at least 100, 150, 200K. And if he can make me like, I don't know, about that much, and I can upgrade him to a primo, he's done his job for me. He doesn't need to score incredible, just enough.
And the St Kilda guy there, Dodson, is he just a placeholder for when I forget his name?
For when Harry Boyd. When
Harry Boyd comes in.
Yep.
I did some digging on Harry Boyd, mind you, Deadly.
Yep.
He averaged 40 hit outs, 20.
I've seen these.
Yeah, 20 possessions per game last year and 10 clearances per game.
Yep.
He won the McGarry medal for the Samfels best and fairest in the league last year. I really do think that they've brought him in to help Rowan Marshall.
Yeah, well, we know, especially back end of last year, Saints like to push Rowan Marshall a bit more forward. He really pushed forward towards the end of last year. There
were a couple of games where he kicked 3 goals a couple of times, wasn't there?
Yeah, he makes a lot of random trips up forward and stays there for a bit. And once Harry Boyd comes in, I think he'll probably be the second ruck.
Yep.
Like he's dead set impressed everyone. He gave what's his name, Max Heath, an absolute bath in the intra club that they had.
Didn't he?
So
yeah,
if he can, be the backup ruck to Rowan Marshall, he'll get a decent opportunity and could make some money.
I think so. Your forwards, mate. Or Skiddy will be happy with you. F1, North Melbourne's favourite son, Jason Horne-Francis. Oh, Mum, I just want to go home. He looks prime for a breakout, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he can't hurt us this year by not getting DPP. And look, the forward position's always pretty stressful, isn't it? And for some bloke who's going to spend most of his time in the midfield, this is pretty much the easiest pick you'll make most of the year. He should score enough to be at least a top 6 forward, you'd think, quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm happy to just pick him, lock him in, and keep him there.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely prime for a big year this year.
Yep.
Jack McRae is someone that, personally, I'm not sold on.
You're not sold on him?
I'm not, no. And my reason for that is he's been added to a St Kilda midfield that already lacks pace.
Yeah.
Jack McRae is not one that gives you pace. So you've got Jack Steele as your major ball winner. We all know how much Rossi Lyon loves Marcus Windhager.
Yeah.
Philippou, I think he's got to start in the middle just with his X factor.
Yep.
Is Jack McRae just going to start on a half forward flank again and rotate through the middle?
Just every photo of him, everything I've heard has just been Jack McRae is going to be a midfielder, an inside mid. And surely he's moved to the Saints not to play half forward again. He's surely been promised an inside mid role. Look, I'm just happy. I'm willing to take the punt if he can somewhat replicate what he'd done a few years back, he was the top scorer in all the SuperCoach about 3 years ago, averaged 119 or something. If he can go somewhat near that, then it's a straight up no brainer in my eyes.
Yep.
I'm happy to take the punt early.
Do you think it's a Jack Steele and Jack McRae type of operation in there with some pace on the outside then?
Yeah, that's what I would think. They got Darcy Wilson. He's got all kinds of pace out on the wing. Even those two halfbacks that we said before, Sinclair and Wanganeen Miller, they'll be running, overlaps very quickly. Great by foot. This Saints team's on for a real big improvement, I reckon. And getting someone like Jack McRae is going to be a big way to do that.
Yep. Bailey Smith, do we need to talk about him? He's just a no-brainer at less than 400K.
The only thing with Bailey Smith is, as we said before, he has an early buy. But
if you can manage that, yeah.
I would like to have pretty decent quality in my forward line. I should be able to manage it pretty easily.
I think so. Lukey Parker, he's going to make a difference at the Roos this year. At 343K, does that justify his price?
I would like to think so. It's the same sort of thing with Callum Mills. Came in late, couldn't really get going, and sort of just got pushed out of the team. Now he's at North, but I've seen so much already from players at North, coaches at North, saying how influential Luke Parker has been already, and they haven't even had an AFL ball bounced yet. So he's a proper inside bull. He's a great mentor, and he scores SuperCoach points well. If you think back a couple of years ago, it's the same sort of thing with these boys that we said before. He's just at the discounted price. I like it too much, especially if he's going to be in the inside mids rotation.
For sure. Philippou, does much more need to be said?
Yeah, no, he'll be in the guts. You'd think he's a talented footy player and one of the best schedules in the AFL. He's a lock for me at the price.
Yep. And Caleb Daniel at F6, really like that. And I think he'll be on in most people's teams, given that you see on trade night where he got traded to the North Melbourne Footy Club, Jade Rawlings, who's in charge of recruitment there at North Melbourne, came out and pretty much just said straight off the bat that he's been recruited to play halfback. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that think he's going to play forward, he's not. They've recruited him specifically for the half-back line and to be a ball user coming out of the back line. You need him in your team.
Yep, he's been told he's playing half-back flank. He's trained half-back flank the whole time. That's his spot. Yep. And at that price, if he's not 100% owned, ridiculous.
Yep. Jackie Martin, Geelong have an uncanny ability to get the most out of older players that they bring into the club. Yep. I see no different here. If he can get his body right, a Gary Rowan type of role up forward.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he'll go straight into the Gary Rowan type of half forward flank role.
And Elijah Hewitt's been probably one of the best performed for West Coast in the preseason so far. They're really excited about what this guy can bring to the table.
Yeah. With Elijah Hewitt, he's been around at the club for a few years now. It's literally just injuries have held him back. He would have had a spot in this team 3 years ago if his injuries didn't keep piling up.
I think this is his third year now. Yeah. Coming off an ACL. Yeah.
Yeah, and he would have been in that West Coast team as a debutant. They've got heaps of wraps on him. And I think this is probably the year where he gets, if he can stay healthy, this is probably where he gets his role and, makes us a few 100K in SuperCoach.
For sure. Who have you got in your flex position to round it out, mate?
Very excited about this.
Now we're getting spicy. Sean, no longer Mudguts, Darcy.
Yes.
I did get my hands on a photo from a mate in Perth today. I'm not going to tell the world who it is, but I immediately sent it to our little group, and he has comfortably lost 15 kegs and is the lightest he's been in 6 years right now.
Yep. In that photo, he dead set looked more trim than Alex Pearce, and he's built. He's built, and we go back a few years ago with Sean Darcy. He averaged 118, and dropping the kegs. He's obviously been told to, try and do it. It's injuries have been his biggest problem as well, and him dropping the kilos will also help with that. If he can just 110 something like that, I'll move him up to Ruck 2, get a new flex, even something like that. I'm hoping he could be a massive pod, and at that price, it's pretty gorgeous for me.
They have a very good run too early, don't they?
Yeah,
as we said
absolutely.
earlier. So,
Yep.
I like it, mate. So, go from the top, mate. We'll go through your side for those that have just joined us. Jack Sinclair, Callum Mills, Kitty Coleman, Travaglia, Bo Allen, El Hawley, Smith and Reed for your defence. Bontempelli, Brayshaw, Petraka, Will Day, Will Ashcroft, Pete Ling from the Adelaide Crows, Ed Allen, Smiley, Sid Draper, Levi Ashcroft, and Leo Lombard from the Gold Coast Suns. Tristan Cherry, Matt Flynn from the West Coast Footy Club, no doubt will be their number one ruck this year after a full pre-season.
Yeah.
And who was the St Kilda guy's name again?
Harry Boyd, his name is.
Harry Boyd will be in that spot at R3. Fords, Horn Francis, McRae, Smith from Geelong, Luke Parker, Mateus Philippou, Caleb Daniel, Jack Martin, Elijah Hewitt. And in the flex, the spiciest one of the lot, Sean, no longer Mudguts, Darcy. Happy with your side so far, Deadly?
Yeah, I'm thrilled with it at the minute. There was obviously a few other people I would really like to have. Isaac Cumming is one that I'd really wanted in my midfield, playing off a halfback for Adelaide, but he's, I couldn't really work out the money, and apparently he's done a hammy as well.
He has. He's 3 to 4 weeks. And we've just received word that Nate Fife has undergone a minor procedure on his knee, and he will be back running at the end of January, they hope. So given age is not his friend at the moment, I would anticipate a bit of a longer recovery time and that he may miss some early games. So once we find out more, we'll let the community know. And
what that does for me, immediately what my mind goes to straight away with Nat Fight being out is someone like a Neil Erasmus. In the Waffle Grand Final, what was it? I think I've got the stats somewhere here. It was something ridiculous in the Waffle Final Series, 162, 171, and 180 in the Waffle Grand Final.
Grand Final Series, so 3 games in a row he scored over 160.
Yep, ridiculous. He's got the talent. It's just the problem with him is he is so prone to get in the vest. Every time he plays in the AFL, he has the vest. So that's why you just can't pick him for that reason. But my God, if he can avoid it, it's really hard to pass him up in my eyes.
Absolutely. And for me, another one to watch there at Fremantle's Murphy Reid, who got picked up this year. One of the best kicks in the under-18s coming out of the draft this year. If Freo can find a spot for him, they will no doubt look to lock him in nice and early because he is a very clean ball user. Absolutely. Before we go, Deadly, pretty keen on your BBL. How are you going this year?
Oh, not too bad. It's been very up and down. I've had some good weeks, some pretty average weeks.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've can take away from it is I've definitely got to trust my gut more. I have had so much struggles when I, go take second chances, or I'd change my trades middle of after the first game, change the trades, and I just fall apart. But this week I'm having a pretty good week, and just made the same 3 trades. Just put them in, didn't do anything else, and it's probably been the best week I've had so far.
Yeah, spot on. We'll give a shout out, mate. We'll give a shout out to our fellow co-host of the BBL, Braino, who's currently sitting top 50 and with really good shot of winning the BBL SuperCoach this year. So fingers crossed we see our man fly home. Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you're not a part of the Patreon yet, it is free. The link will be below. Just click it. Click on AFL. You'll see all our stuff there. If you want to upgrade into a paid membership, it is only $6 a month, which is a cup of coffee per month. We'll have all the stats. Deadly and I have been working a little bit behind the scenes, and we have a list. The players from 1 to 300 ranked there for you if you wish to get your hands on that. There is plenty more. There's going to be positional analysis. There's going to be pods. There's injury watch. We're going to be attending games to watch to let you know exactly what players are doing in the preseason and a whole lot more. But Deadly, thanks for joining us, mate. You're only new to our podcast, but you're already loved by a lot in the community. Looking forward to having you on here a fair bit throughout the season this year.
Mate, it's a bloody pleasure. I love coming on doing something like this. Bit out of my comfort zone, but it's always good to get out of your comfort zone for a bit. And I love SuperCoach. I love footy, and it's a good way to talk about it.
It is, exactly right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet, please hit like, subscribe, and the bell. Or if you're listening on all good audio platforms, leave us a 5-star review. Give us a thumbs up. We would appreciate that. My name's Mick. This is Deadly. Or I'm the horse, actually. And this has been another episode of the Inside AFL podcast. We'll see you again in roughly 3 to 4 days' time where we give you another team reveal. Who that is, you'll just have to wait and see. We'll see you then.